Can you let us know what it was that actually led you to be doing the work that you do at your holistic health and nutrition practice?
Yeah, sure. So I guess, unfortunately, like many other practitioners, it was a personal kind of health crisis that led me to starting the clinic and trying to help others with kind of chronic health issues. I was very happy and kind of successful in my science career. But in 2016, I kind of just started having these random symptoms and I became quite ill, seemingly kind of out of nowhere, and I'd been really healthy up until that point, and it kind of just took me by surprise and I really had no idea what was going on. A lot of neurological symptoms, fatigue, brain fog, numbness, tingling. And yeah, it was a really scary few months. They thought it might be MS for a little while.
Yeah.
And, and as I'm sure, maybe for yourself and other people, you've heard the story of then going around to lots of different doctors, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Shelling
out all the money.
Yeah, lots of money,
lots
of different specialists.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, the specialists were actually quite good and quite helpful. Which is different to what I've heard a lot of other people talk about. They couldn't tell me what the problem was, obviously, but they were very helpful. They were trying, whereas the GPs, it was a bit of a different story. It was kind of hard work to get them to believe me. And so, yeah, it was a stressful couple of years trying to figure out what was going on. And, I was obviously getting sicker and sicker during those couple of years. And finally, in 2018, I guess just through a little bit of reading, I was reading a lot about diet and lifestyle to see if I could, shift things myself.
Yeah.
And I came across this idea of, this term functional medicine. And so I Googled it. I found a functional medicine practitioner in my area. And that's when things started to shift. And, this suggestion of mold and biotoxin illness was brought up, and things started to progress quickly then, and everything kind of was light bulb moments, of like, yeah. Oh wow, okay, this is what's going on. This is definitely the problem. And so, I started treatment, very slow recovery, lots of ups and downs over the following kind of couple of years. But then, I guess in around 2020, it became clear to me after learning a lot more about mold and, the effects, that working at a university as I had been was really going to be impossible because, I mean, you can probably imagine most universities are very old buildings.
Yeah, they
very
are.
Damp. Very damp.
Yeah.
Very, I mean, you just think of especially the oldest, all universities, but especially the older, sandstone, lots of flooding had happened at universities that I'd been at. And so, I just kind of decided, look, I need to do something else, that this isn't going to work for me anymore, unfortunately. And so I just kind of felt a bit of a calling to, to try and move into this health space and help other people that maybe were experiencing some of the same issues. And so, I initially trained as a health coach, but then I tried to take it a little bit further with functional nutrition and lifestyle, work. And decided to open an online clinic.
That's awesome. I guess for many people who end up going down this field, that they've experienced it themselves, and you can't go through this without wanting to, turn back and reach a hand out to the other people who are coming up through just figuring out what's going wrong with them. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, it sort of forms this.
I think especially with this kind of situation, right, where it's so kind of unknown.
Yeah.
And like so a lot of people really have no idea that this is a problem.
And I think also that dismissal that happens in society, it makes it, there's even more of a need for people to stand up and say, oh, this is real. Let's help you through this. So like, good on you for turning this into such a positive in your life.